Welcome to the channel, everybody. Level M Diecast covering Fast and Furious action. Yes, we just absolutely love beating a dead horse, don't we, Mattel? This is mix number 3 for 2023. There'll be one more mix after this one, but we finally do get some new castings for a change, and they are pretty good ones as well. This is the custom Acura Integra sedan GSR. This is Mia's Acura Integra. This is number 1 of 5. Finally being able to complete the original Fast sets, working towards that, which is super, super important. Like always, there is the deets on the back. Tells you it's from the original Fast and Furious deets and stuff like that. Should you want the deets? Sometimes people want the deets. These are a little bit pain in the butt to find. We'll take a look at this in just a second. I'm going to give some rotator time here. Next one up, this is number 2 of 5. This is the 1999 Nissan Maxima. This is Vince's Maxima. This is probably the most waited for model, I feel like, in the original cast. Feel like it's just taken them way too long to come out with this casting. I've seen nothing but negative stuff about this casting, so we'll take a look at it and get our own reservations for this one. Maxima. Throw the Maxima down there. We do have some carryover junk, of course. That is, the whole beating a dead horse, as they normally do. BMW M3 E46. This is a carryover. We've already seen this for. It was in Furious 7. So we will do some comparos on that guy to see if there's anything different. But I pretty much can guarantee you there'll be no difference. Same with this one here. This one is the custom Mustang. This is the one that Dom's brother drives, John Cena. His name not John Cena in the movie, but from Furious 9. So they just released this Mustang, feels like just the other day. So the likelihood of something different on this one is literally 0. But stranger things have happened. And then, of course, the last one up, number 5 of 5. Brand new one from Fast 10. This is the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint GTA, of course, from Fast X. Not a new casting, but a brand new deco, brand new model for the Fast and Furious line. We'll take it. We'll take anything that's new. At least I think anything that's new. So pretty much every one of those have had the little protector in there, which is kind of interesting. So we're going to get our rotator guy out. We're going to have a little bit of fun. All right, everybody, we're going to kick this off. We got Mia's Integra to kick it off. This one looks pretty good. Brand new casting. One that was very severely needed from the original release movie. Surprised all these years, and they never, ever once made Mia's Integra. An Integra was such an important car that could have just fit into all the JDM that's been going on for years. But I guess it's fine. It's here now. This one is the GSR. This is the 4-door sedan. Which is pretty cool. Definitely not a common model to see in diecast. 4-door Integra. This one looks pretty good. I do like all the decals and stuff like that on it. Prints look good. Of course, it's car culture, so it's premium stuff all the way around. I'm not a huge fan of chrome, but I think the wheels they're perfectly fine. Nice 6-spoke wheel. Super small, super small. I do like the fact they put the mirrors on the side as well. Looks good. Sure, there is a pretty decent interior in there, but it is quite tinted up with the windows. And then, of course, you do have the spoiler/wing off the back, which is pass-through, which is pretty nice, which is, part of the casting. As far as that, club decal that flies around the side, kind of that flying angel kind of look, looks pretty good. Prints on the side look very, very good. Of course, like I said, it is premium Hot Wheels, so these prints always look good. Prints on the front look pretty good. Prints on the back look good as well. Says Type R on one side and HKS on the other. Not too shabby. As far as the base deets go, there you go. Nice silver painted base. Looks pretty good. Like the exhaust out the back. HKD 27 assortment code. S25 day code on these guys. But that one looks pretty good. So original Fast, of course. Since we're talking about Mia, of course, opposite of Mia would be Brian, which is obviously the most other popular character one there. There is his original Eclipse, which of course they've done from the original movie. which is very, very important. Of course, another one that they have also done, which was very, very important, was the Supra that they built. So based on just the original crew, the original car club mix, wanted to throw those in there. We're going to take a look at everybody at the end, kind of see how everybody stacks up. Next one up in the mix, another brand spanking new casting. Of course, this is Vince's Maxima, specifically his 1999 Maxima. This has been, in my opinion, this has been arguably the most anticipated, desired, needed casting for the Fast and Furious franchise for so long. The fact that they never ever made this casting originally, even after a few years, just blows me away. The casting's not that great. I will be frank with you guys. The casting's not very good. It's a bit wide and a bit flat. It's almost like somebody stepped on it and kind of crushed it and kind of bulged it out a bit. Not a good casting. I'm not sure who designed this casting over at Mattel, but unfortunately, this one is just not a good casting. The front end does look okay. When we get some close-ups here in a second, it does definitely look like a Maxima for sure. It definitely has the right silhouette of a Maxima, but just the designer, I'll just be frank with you, the designer was just not very good with this particular casting. So not sure who designed it. Again, just not that great. I think the wheels are really, really big for the model as well. I think it was designed to carry too big of wheels. We're talking the Maxima. This was an economy, kind of a mid-size, a little bit bigger than a mid-size in the 90s. It was kind of Nissan's more luxurious model. It really wasn't designed to be, really sporty. It really wasn't. But they put these big wheels on there. It's okay. As far as the decals and stuff on the side, the club logo, that looks pretty cool. Looks kind of like that's a shark. Maybe some blood coming off the back. Toyo tires on there as well. Of course, it says number 2. There is the details in the front. The prints look a little weird on the headlights, but I do assure you it is a Maxima for sure. It just looks a little bit odd. It definitely is a Maxima from the back, though. The tail lights are very proper. Looks very, very good. Kind of interesting they didn't paint the Nissan logo on the trunk, though. That is definitely not a good thing. Just, and it looks good from the top, but it's very wide. Just looks like it's bloated, and it's just not that great of a casting. There is the deets on the bottom, of course. HKD 23, 1999, Nissan Maxima, gloss black, decals on the bottom. It's not that great of a casting, I'll be honest with you. The other guys from the original series, of course, we have Leon's Skyline, which I mentioned earlier. This is his R33 Skyline. I think this is the best Skyline ever made, but that's just my opinion. So that is with the other crew. We're going to put the original Fast together. I think that's important. He's number 7. We also have, of course, Letty with her S15. I'm sorry, her S14. She gets a lot of screen time as well. Leon gets a lot of screen time as well in his R33, although not as much as I wanted, but he does get a lot of screen time. The S14 obviously can be used for a lot of other stuff. I think that's why it was a no-brainer for the team at Hotwheels to pump that one out. And then, of course, you do have Jesse's Jetta. He's number 4, which looks pretty good. They have released this Jetta once outside of Fast and Furious. Of course, the S14 has been released in other stuff as well. Same with the Supra, but not the Eclipse, and the R33 has as well. So they've kind of mixed some of these castings around. And then, of course, you do have the big dog, which, of course, is Dom himself, which his car is number 3, which is kind of interesting. He's not number 1, he's number 3, but with his RX-7. So pretty happy we'll be able to put the entire crew together at the end, and we'll just kind of see how the original, crew stacks up. Maybe even bring in some overnight parts from Japan, maybe. All right, moving on to the next one in the mix, of course, is the BMW M3. This is a re-release. Not going to see much new here. Of course, we are at S25 is our day codes. This is the previous release here with N37. We're going to take these off. We're going to do a little mumbo jumbos, and then we're going to put them both back on there and see if there's any difference between the two. Of course, both of them have that kind of turquoise wheel. There'll probably be some color differences between those. I mean, plastic molds, tend to just colors vary a little bit. As far as like prints and stuff, obviously you can tell it's all the same deco style and everything like that on there. It's a good casting. It's a good casting. I do like the offset wheel color, but really nothing going on there. So I think I'm just going to take a guess. I'm going to say the one on the right is going to be our new one. I am incorrect. So in 37, that is the original release. So taking a look at the base deeds, you'll see that basically on the base here, the original one on the bottom, it has more of a satin finish, and of course the new one on the top has more of a flat finish. You're never going to see the base though, so it really doesn't matter as far as the bases are concerned. The taillights on the back, of course the original on the left, new one on the right. They look identical. They're not going to be perfectly the same, but they are identical as far as the deets. They are the same deco or prints up and stuff like that. Original one on the left, same with the headlights and all that good stuff like that, all the same in the front. To be honest with you, I think the prints on the original on the left were better than the new one. So maybe their prints took a back seat. And then as far as the wheels concerned, original on the bottom, they are pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. And they have the same M3 vent on it as well. It's just a meh. All right, next one up, of course, this is the Mustangs, the one that Dom's brother drives. I forget his name in the movie. But we can call him John, since his real name's John Cena. This one's okay. I don't think that this casting was bad. I think it was a pretty good casting. Not that we needed another Mustang originally, but it was a new version for the movie, so we would happily take it for sure. This is the original release right here. P31, which basically came out 2021. So that guy is on the right-hand side of the screen coming around now. I can already tell you there's definitely some colored shade differences and whatnot. So we'll take a look at that. You see the taillight colors are different as well. So this guy might end up being a little bit more involved than we originally thought. Taking a look at our base deets, the original one on the bottom, new one on the top, of course. I feel like Mattel has been doing this a lot with the Fast and Furious line, is they just changed the base deets. So like the bottom one here, that is like a satin black finish, and the one on the top is like a matte satin or like a matte black finish. They're different. They're different for sure, but I don't think that constitutes, a re-release or something like that. I think that's a little bit of a cop-out, to be honest with you. Taillights, the original one on the left, new one on the right. Taillights looked way better on the original one, not so good on the new one. That is for sure. Details on the front. The prints are exact, the same. Really nothing different there at all. As far as the colors are concerned, the original one on the bottom, new one on the top. Their new one is definitely lighter blue, a little bit less metallic to it too, but you have to really be a geek to really care about a shade difference like that. I mean, other than that, it's exactly the same model. Really nothing different there. It's just the same. All right, next one up. This is a brand new version for the Alfa Romeo, but it's also a brand new version from Fast 10. This is in the opening movie, or opening part of the movie, I should say. So if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. This one looks pretty good. I think the one in the movie looked a little bit better. I think maybe like a silver color on the wheels would have been a better fit to be a little bit more accurate with the movie itself. This casting is not an exact model of what is in the movie, but it's close enough. It's close enough. Hot Wheels has it. It's a premium casting. It works. But other than that, it's a cop-out. I mean, Mattel does that a lot. We've talked about this. As far as the base details are concerned, we'll flip this around. S26, again, nothing new here. All the same old. Prints on the front look pretty good. Prints on the back look pretty good. So that's not too shabby. So let's move on, take a look at the original Fast set. All right, everybody, just to recap, let's go ahead and take a look at a full-on setup for our original fast set. Of course, we do have Dom. We will go ahead and throw Mia in there just because she's the sister. So bring her Integra in. Then, of course, we do have Dom's right-hand man originally, which was Vince. And his buddy, of course, Leon. Roll him in there as well. Jesse also was rocking them. Probably had the lowest, slowest car of everybody. And then, of course, you did have Letty. So we'll bring Letty in there. So there is your original fast set. Those are the original crew members. And then, of course, here comes Brian. So Brian comes to hang out. Blows up his Eclipse, of course, because he messed with Johnny Tran. Don't mess with Johnny Tran. So then he finds this broken, ridiculously broken Supra. And then they bring overnight parts from Japan. This is the original one in the front. And then they re-released it, the one in the back. This one has looks way better. Looks way more appropriate. Looks way more period correct. So they brought in overnight parts from Japan. They brought it in on very own Racer's Edge roll-off. Fixed up the Supra so that the Supra could join the crew. And then that became the new mix. And then, of course, Vince. Actually, I think Vince survived. Pretty sure Vince survived. Unfortunately, Jesse did not survive. So we'll kind of bring in Paul to take, or Brian to take the spot. And that became the crew there. And then they became ridiculously ultra-trained FBI assets. Just saying. So there you go. That is Fast and Furious mix number 3. A little bit of a weird oddball thing. A little bit of Level M flavor. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about that. We're going to roll out. We got some more Fast and Furious stuff. Maybe coming down the pipeline. We'll see what happens. Catch you next time. Peace.